Never get into an Uber if the driver seems weird, because I got into an Uber the other day and the driver was a little creepy from the start, but I was like, whatever, no big deal. But then he took a wrong turn and I was like, excuse me, sir, I think you missed the turn. And he said, don't worry, I know a shortcut. But he kept going in the wrong direction, so I was like, oh, I know what's going on here. I'm getting kidnapped. At least that's what I thought was happening. So he continued driving and I kept trying to make excuses for him to let me out of the car. Like there was McDonald's on the side and I was like, sir, you could just drop me off here. I'm feeling pretty hungry. And he says, oh, I can't do that. I gotta take you to the destination in the app or else I'll get in trouble. I mean, you've taken like 10 wrong turns already, but yeah, stopping at McDonald's is what's gonna get you in trouble. So anyways, 2 minutes later, he pulls into an elementary school parking lot and I'm thinking, there's no way this man's allowed within 500 feet of this place. But he went in anyway, and you know what he did? He picked up a kid from school. He went 25 minutes out of the way to pick his kid up from school. And honestly, I respect that. But why are you driving me too? But that's not even the funniest part. After the kid gets in the car, he looks me up and down like this and goes, what's up, Holmes? First of all, you are 7. Why do you talk like that? And second of all, did you just look me up and down to see if I'm armed? So now I'm in the car with 2 people and I'm more scared of the kid than the dad now. Like I'm pretty sure if I cough weird, this kid's just gonna start stabbing me with a pencil. But anyways, 25 minutes later, he gets me to my destination. And this man has the audacity to say, hey, don't forget to leave 5 stars. So you know what I did? I stood up to him and I said, yes, of course, sir, absolutely. And walked away super quick. This man had my address now. I was not about to give him 1 star. If that Uber driver or his son are watching this video, actually probably more to his son, please don't come in my house. I'm terrified of you guys. To everyone who keeps commenting for me to oil up, my family follows me on here, but they don't understand social media at all. So what do you think their reaction is when they go in my comment section and see 500 comments saying, oil up, oil up, oil up? The past 3 nights at dinner, I've had to explain to them what that means. So please stop commenting it. I can't do this anymore. Have you ever failed a test so bad that your teacher started asking about your personal life? Because one time I got a 13% on a Spanish test. Yes, 13%. And my teacher was like, Tyler, can you stay after class today? And I was thinking, oh no, my teacher's probably so angry at me. But instead, she just looked at me as if she was about to break the news to me that a relative just passed away. And she was like, Tyler, is everything okay at home? And I was like, yeah, why? Then she says, well, you've really been struggling lately in class. Dog, that has nothing to do with what's going on at home. I just don't speak Spanish. Me no comprendo Spanish. But it gets even better because then she says, well, you also look really tired in class. Are you getting enough sleep? No! School starts at 7:50 in the morning. Of course I'm not getting enough sleep. She told me she could see the bags under my eyes and then I was like, okay, now you're just roasting me because I always have these. That's just how I look. Trust me, I would love to make an excuse for why I failed, but I just don't speak Spanish. I barely even speak English. What would you do if you accidentally made everyone in your school throw up? Because that's what I did. So I was at school one day and the guy sitting right next to me farted, but he blamed it on me. So everyone laughed at me and I decided right there that I was gonna get revenge on this kid. And luckily, he was throwing a party at his house that night. So I was trying to think of ways that I could get payback on him. And then it hit me. I'm gonna spray fart spray all around his house so people think that his house smells like farts. So I got to the party and everyone was having a great time and I snuck around the house and sprayed fart spray everywhere. And if you know anything about fart spray, it smells awful. What I thought would happen after I did this is that everyone would think this kid's house smells like farts and they would start laughing at him like they did to me. But I think I sprayed so much of the fart spray that it literally made people throw up, like everywhere. One person even threw up on the guy's dog. I didn't want that to happen. Honestly though, I only did this because I was insecure. So be proud of your farts. Never go to a fast food restaurant past midnight because I just got back from McDonald's, but you might be saying, hey, that's not McDonald's. You're right. And that's because when I went to McDonald's, I tried to walk inside, but the door was locked. I was thinking, that's weird because I've been here at the same time before and they were open. So I walked around the building and looked through the window and I saw about 10 workers not doing anything. So I went back to the door and I knocked on it and a worker opened it and said, sorry, we're not open right now. And I said, can I ask you guys why you're not open? Because you usually are at this time. And he said, we're throwing a quinceañera for one of the workers. What? Who throws a quinceañera at a McDonald's? Listen, I'm not Hispanic, so I might just not be educated on this topic. But do you guys always throw these parties inside fast food restaurants? Like maybe I'm just out of the loop, but I do want to get invited to one day. If you have a quinceañera, hit me up. I just Googled the name of a kid who used to bully me when I was 12 years old. First thing that pops up, a GoFundMe. His house burned down. I obviously feel so bad for him and his family.
Somebody call 911. Shawty fire burning on the day.
Having a girl best friend is not for the weak because I dislocated my kneecap a while ago and I was super sad because this meant I was gonna miss my baseball season. So I came to school the next day and this girl that was my friend asked me why I was wearing a leg brace. So I was like, oh, I hurt my knee playing basketball. And I said it in a really sad tone like that. And she responds by saying, oh, period. So then I go, what? Then she goes, period. You don't know what period means? And I'm like, no, I do. I think I just don't understand how that's the word you say as a reaction to my kneecap falling off. Like imagine you see someone crying and you ask them what's wrong and they say, my grandma just passed away. And you respond by saying, slay. That's what this felt like. But it was my fault for getting upset because what I didn't realize at the time is when girls use words like this, it can mean many different things. It just depends on the situation. So if something bad happens to you, like a relative passing away and a girl says, period, just know that she's trying to be supportive. Never fall asleep on your back because last night I was laying in bed, but I just could not fall asleep for some reason. And I always fall asleep on my side, but tonight it was super uncomfortable. So I decided to go on my back. And within 5 minutes of doing that, I fell asleep. Sounds great, right? Well, the only issue was that I woke up in the middle of the night. So I was like, oh, might as well go to the bathroom. So I tried to get up, but I couldn't move my body. At first I thought I was just dreaming or something, but then I realized I was fully conscious. And then all of a sudden, I see a dark figure in the corner of my room and it kept getting closer to me and closer to me. So I was terrified because I couldn't move or run away, but then the dark figure walked out of my eyesight so I couldn't see it anymore until randomly it pops up right in front of my face. At this point, my heart was racing, but then I started to hear whispering and I was like, where is this coming from? But for some reason, whenever someone whispers in my ear, it makes me super ticklish. So when this happened, I started to wiggle my toes and I realized I could move again and then I woke up. So I don't know if I was dreaming or if I wasn't, but it felt super real. All I know is that this never happened until the one night I sleep on my back. So I'm never doing that again. Also, I may or may not have wet the bed. Why do people who have never been in a relationship before give the best relationship advice? Like anytime one of my friends ask me for advice in their relationship, I somehow turn into Dr. Phil with the advice I'll give them. Cause one time my friend and his girl were arguing about how he never wanted to do things that she enjoyed, like shopping for clothes, but she also didn't want to do things that he enjoyed, like playing video games. So when they told me this, I was like, well, relationships are about compromise. So you guys have to learn how to both do things that the other person enjoys. Not because you enjoy it too, but because you love them and want to support them. Where the heck did I pull that one from? I don't know anything about compromising in a relationship because I've never been in one. Yet somehow, I'm out here speaking like a marriage counselor. And I know people will say the quote that goes like, you guide people to a treasure that you cannot possess. But man, I'm sick of guiding these people. I want to get my own treasure already. Never go on your phone in public. It's not safe anymore. Because I was walking out of the grocery store to my car, but I was on my phone, so I wasn't really paying attention. When I got to my car, I tried pulling on the door handle and it wouldn't budge, but I was like, that's weird. I already pressed the unlock button. Why is the door not opening? And after a couple seconds of trying, the window rolls down a little bit and an old lady screams, get away from me, I'll call the cops. It wasn't until that moment that I took a step back, looked at the vehicle and realized, this wasn't my car. This poor old lady thought I was trying to break into her car while she was in it. But the worst part was that she didn't even seem scared of me. Like, she was just warning me. So do I not look capable of being a scary burglar? Like, just imagine me being like, give me all your money. Yeah, I just watched that back. Now I see why she wasn't scared of me. I don't look intimidating at all, bro. Never lie to a girl because they will always find out. Because one time, I told this girl about how I went to go see a Mac Miller concert with my friend before he passed away. And she said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm sure that was really hard for you. And I was thinking, I mean, yeah, I liked his music, but I didn't know him personally. But we kept talking and eventually she was like, my best friend actually passed away too. And then she started tearing up. And it was at that moment I realized she thought I was saying that my friend passed away after the concert, not Mac Miller. And I wanted to clear that up, but at this point, she was already sobbing talking about her friend and how she's glad to have me because not many people can relate to her on this subject. So I was like, well, I can't tell her the truth now. It'll make her feel horrible. But then she asked me to show her a picture of this friend and I panicked. So I just showed her a random picture of my homie Greg, who is definitely alive. So I really hope she never sees Greg in public or else she's gonna start thinking she's seeing ghosts. I do not care if I get insulted by a man or a woman, but if I get insulted by a kid, I want to cry because they do not lie. If they insult you, they said it because they truly believe it. Like one time I was at the airport just minding my own business and this little kid comes up to me and says, why do you have a pepperoni on your face? So I pull my phone out to look at myself on the camera and I see nothing there. So I'm like, what do you mean I have a pepperoni on my face? And he puts his finger on my forehead and goes, right here. And I realized that he's talking about a pimple I had. So I laughed and went, oh, that's not a pepperoni, it's a pimple. And he goes, oh, that's really big. So I'm like, yeah, it is. Where are your parents? Because when an older person insults you, you can fight back. But with a little kid, what am I supposed to say? You can't read? Of course he can't read, he's 4! So now anytime a little kid looks in my general direction, this is what I do. I'm just gonna run away from them every time now. I can't take any more ego hits. Nobody talks about the difference in how people act in the beginning of the school year versus the end. Because in the beginning, I'm showing up to school in my freshest outfit, trying hard in my classes. Like if I don't have an A in all my classes in the beginning, I'm freaking out and I start working super hard to get the best grades possible. But when the second half of the year comes around, everything changes. I'm now showing up to school in sweats and a hoodie, if I even do show up. And now, I don't care what my grades are as long as I'm passing. I remember one time at the end of the year, the teacher offered extra credit for anyone that needed it, and I did because I was almost failing. And all you had to do was a worksheet that would literally take 10 minutes. And I didn't even do it because I was so done with school. The teacher even pulled me aside and she was like, Tyler, I really think you should do this worksheet. And I was like, no. I literally could have failed the class, but I still didn't do the extra credit because I was so done with school. This is why they need to make the school year shorter. We need a longer break. Have you ever been talking to someone but you couldn't think of anything to say, so you just started sharing your darkest secrets with them? Yeah, I don't recommend doing that because the other day I was at dinner with two of my friends and one of my friends gets a call from his mom saying that he needs to come home right now and watch his little sister. So he left, but me and the other guy didn't get our food yet, so we stayed. But this was a big problem because the friend that left is like the glue guy. He's the one who we're both close with, so me and the other guy have never talked, just us two. So when the glue guy left, it was awkward because me and the other guy didn't know what to talk about. But for some reason, the only things I could think to say were my darkest secrets. So one thing led to another, and I ended up telling him that one time I wore panties to school because I didn't have any clean underwear. Dog, I was planning on taking that to the grave. And he didn't really know how to react because, like I said, we're not that close. And you may ask, well, if you were gonna take that secret to the grave, then why are you telling it to us now? I don't know. I'm kind of just at that point now where I'm like, who even cares? You guys don't even care about what I say anyway. You're just gonna comment for me to oil up no matter what I say. I should have just asked him about the weather or something, man. There's not many things in life that can embarrass me, except for the one time when I had to fart during a test in school. So right as I'm about to let it rip, I try to cough to cover it up. But the fart ended up being like 5 seconds long, so I just had to keep coughing the whole time. I was like, and I thought I got away with it, but after class ended, one of my friends came up to me and he was like, dude, that was a gnarly fart. And I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't fart. And he was like, dude, you do realize that your fart was like way louder than your cough, right? So I asked him if he thought anyone else noticed that I farted, and he was like, yeah, literally everyone in the class noticed. So the next day, I tried to avenge myself by making fart noises in class, hoping that everyone would think that's what I was also doing the day before. But after like 4 minutes of making fart noises, the kid that sits next to me was tired of hearing it, and he was like, dude, we all know you farted yesterday, okay? You don't have to fake fart noises. We all know it was real. We could smell it. When he said they could smell it, I thought about packing my bags and moving to the North Pole and never talking to humans again. I couldn't take that embarrassment, bro. But I got over it, and now I'm happy to say that I own my farts. When I fart in class now, I raise my hand. So if you fart in class, own it. People respect that. People love accountable farters. Have you ever met someone that acts cringe unironically? Because one time, I got put together with this kid for a group project, but he would always have his headphones in for some reason. So he would rarely talk to me, but at random points, he would make these noises as if he was an anime character. Like one time, we were working on the project and I asked him if he finished his research yet, and he just responds by saying, oi, oi, oi. What does that even mean? Oi, oi, oi. Are you rallying the troops or something? Is that like a mating call? Like, just answer the question normally, man. But that wasn't even the worst part. The thing that made my skin crawl was the facial expressions he would have while saying this. Because he would literally be like this. Or he did this one. He genuinely thought he was an anime character, and like, I'm not judging, but bro, at least do your part of the project. When I was 10 years old, I went to the barber for the first time and tried to stab my barber with scissors because he asked what haircut I wanted, and my friend had a really cool afro, so I told him I wanted an afro too. He laughed at me and I had no idea why, but I had really bad anger issues when I was a little kid. So I got his scissors from off his desk and tried to stab him. All of a sudden, he stopped laughing and told me that I was never allowed to go back in his barber shop again. So I want to go back today and see if he recognized me and kicks me out, or if he'll let me get a haircut.